All right, what's going on? It's Mike Adam. I am here with Wengie.
Hi, guys.
Long time no see.
Yeah, like I think it's 2 days.
I know. Seriously. We went to the BLACKPINK show together. It was awesome, and it was both our first times going to a K-pop concert. You had fun, right?
Yeah, it's so much fun, and particularly I loved it when we danced together. You got up and danced, Mike got into it.
Listen,
it was a moment.
And talk about a few firsts happening. That was my first time going to a K-pop show. I think that was my first time dancing at a pop concert. Wengie was not having it. She was like, Mike, we need to get up. We need to get our dance on.
Yep. He hesitantly, but then got into it.
I know.
So, you're a great dancer.
Thank you. You too. Did you have a favorite part of the concert?
Ooh, there was one song they sang, which was Bombaya.
Yes.
And that was a moment for me because that was the first song I listened to from them. So it's kind of like that. And also, when Dua Lipa came on stage,
Yeah.
I was so surprised. I was like, what's happening? And I knew they did a collab together, but I wasn't expecting Dua to come out. So that was like an amazing moment to see all the queens on stage.
Totally. It was huge, and that was their first time performing it live, so it was a special moment. I saw when we were backstage, you were talking to one of the girls. Which member were you talking to?
Rosé.
Okay.
She's from Australia as well. So.
Oh. Can you tell me what you guys were talking about, or is it like top secret?
Oh, well, she honestly had so many people to meet, so I just gave her a hug. I was like, I'm from Australia too, yay! And it was like, yeah, just a moment for me. It's very special.
That's so cute. Were you guys from the same area, or?
No, I think she's from Melbourne. I'm from Sydney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And it was funny when Wengie and I were leaving the venue, I saw people like kind of glancing over at you, but then it took one courageous fan to come over and say hi to you and be like, oh, I want a picture or whatever, and then they dropped like dominoes. You just got like swarmed by all these fans. Next thing I know, half an hour later, you know, you're done signing things and taking photos. I imagine that happens a good amount.
I think, yeah, it definitely takes the one fan to start the wave. I think a lot of the times my fans are a little bit shy.
Yeah.
So sometimes I get glances, but don't get the full, photos and everything. But I love it when they all come up to me and say hi, because it's less awkward when they're like, hi, I love your stuff, than like someone glancing at you, or like there's something on my face, like what's going on? Like I can't be like, oh, look, they recognize me, and then someone comes up to me, it's like, oh, you got some food on your face, you forgot to wipe it off. I'm like, oh no, it's one of those moments.
Right. You're like, are they giving me the stank eye, or do they like me? Like, what
can't tell.
I know. Are you ever like caught in an awkward moment though? Like you're at the grocery store, no makeup on, just trying to get some avocados, and a fan comes up and you're like, hey, I really don't feel like taking a photo right now.
Ooh, I think till this day I've never turned down a photo.
Really?
Even if I have no makeup, I'm in my gym gear. Now I know not to be in that situation, so I do try and get ready every single day, but for a while I was like really lazy. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pop downstairs to the store. Big mistake. Because I think it's a moment for them as well. I don't really think my fans care what I look like.
Right.
I want to give them that moment.
Oh, so. I love that. Have you ever had another fellow celebrity, famous person recognize you somewhere?
Ooh, no, I don't even go out very often.
What about, you're like, I am just home filming videos all the time.
Yeah, like a crazy cat lady. So.
What about a famous person that said to you that they're familiar with your work?
I think, yeah, a lot of, like, I was just at a YouTube event, and there was a bunch of top YouTubers, and one of the YouTubers was Mr. Beast. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's the guy that gives away money all over America. Like, he'll buy like $10,000 and drop money from the sky. And I was like, hey, congrats on all your success. I was like, wow.
That's so cute. And, that's what I appreciate about you. I think you still very much have your feet on the ground, because even when you were meeting BLACKPINK when we were backstage, you definitely were fangirling. You were like, I love these girls,
Yeah, I get I'm the most awkward, like, when I meet someone I admire, I'm not the same person. I'm silent, I'm in the corner, I'm giggling, like, it's just, yeah, it's very embarrassing.
Well, I think you did good. You did fine.
You.
I would say you're most well known for the DIY videos, the slime videos, the prank videos. But recently you've really been focusing on the music. Was that always the end goal? Like when you quit the day job, you were like, okay, I'm going to do this content creating, but eventually I want to be an artist.
Well, I think the funny story is originally my first ever few YouTube videos was actually music videos. And they were actually English covers of K-pop songs. Because K-pop was all in Korean, I didn't understand Korean, so I actually rewrote the lyrics to some K-pop songs and sang them in English.
Wow.
And then made my own music video, so I think it's just something I've always wanted to do. And then I realized, oh, you know, like I always wanted to be a creator or be creative and kind of do my own thing. So I was like, oh, this is gonna take a month to make a music video and isn't making me any money, so my dream of quitting my job to do creative things isn't ever gonna happen this way, but it's always been something I've always wanted to do in the back end. So now that I've gone through my journey as a creator, like done content I've loved, but also was able to quit my job and make this my full-time thing, and like, you know, it was really good to go back to that moment of like, I'm just gonna do something I want to do now, like not care about like, you know, anything. It's just like my passion, and yeah, it was a great decision. I don't regret it at all. So
I love
even though
it.
it's very scary.
So what do you see your YouTube channel or channels morphing into in say the next 3 years, 5 years? Is it gonna turn into all music, or have you put thought into that?
Yeah, so I'm really like, I'm such an organizer. Like you saw my suitcase, right? I'm like the messiest person in the world.
It's
like,
crazy.
Mike was like, oh, no words. But in terms of my content, I get really picky about where I put my content. So I have my own music channel that's like completely separate. So I think every time I have a new idea, I tend to want to start a separate channel just dedicated to it. So that's probably like, I'm just going to continue building music on the music side. And then my main channel content is going to continually evolve on more the DIY lifestyle side. It's kind of going to go in that direction. Although recently I did some animated story times, which is like stories about my life in animations, and people really like that. So that's something I think I would like to do as well, because I also grew up watching a lot of anime and cartoons, and that's like a huge passion of mine as well.
You make a lovely cartoon.
Oh, thank you.
You looked really great on there.
Thank you.
Purple hair, it was
I wish
awesome.
I could live in a cartoon world. Like this, I don't know. You could do so much more as a cartoon, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. So are you currently working on a full album or just songs for right now?
I think right now I'm just gonna release songs that I really like. I think an album puts too much pressure, especially I'm still kind of learning and finding my style and finding who I am in the music arena. I want to try a bunch of different styles, and I think what I love about this journey and what I want to do is show my fans and audience the whole journey, you know, from the first song that may not be, you know, my best hit, but they can see the journey, they can see the improvements, I can continue working really hard to grow and like finding my style. I think that's something that I can do as a creator, that maybe someone, you know, in a label that comes out polished, you know, is, they still have growth, but I guess I can be a lot more raw, and I can make a lot more mistakes without anyone telling me, hey, this is a mistake. I'll just do it and then realize it's a mistake. So.
And it's kind of like showing your fans the ins and outs and them growing with you. I think that's very genuine and different. It's cool.
Yeah, especially if you heard my first music cover, you would be like, yep, you grew a lot.
But you're working with some pretty big writers. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been so blessed. Like, honestly, it's all teamwork. I don't think anything that I've done, even on my main channel as a YouTuber, is done all by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I recognize it takes more than one person and multiple teams. So I'm really lucky to be working with Melanie Fontana, who wrote for BTS and the Halsey, Boys in Love. She honestly, I think she's taking over the K-pop scene.
Seriously?
She did Everglow, which I love, and then TXT Crown, which I love, and I'm like, girl, you're everywhere on my YouTube feed, like, including doing my songs. Thank you, Melanie, so much. She's so lovely, and plus she's also in love with cats, so that's why we really connected. Her cat, Vanderbilt, I'm giving you a shout out right now. You're amazing. And her husband, Lindgren, is an amazing producer that produced mine and produced Boy in Love and Everglow and Crown. Again, taking over K-pop as a power couple, and they're the sweetest. So I love seeing them work together as a team, and they're just so good together. And I think I love seeing couples that work together because me and my partner as well run my channel.
Right.
So, and like, to see couples being able to work together and still, be together,
Yeah.
that's a big thing. But also create masterpieces. Like, it's amazing. And also, so huge shout out to Melanie Lindgren. Love you guys so much. It's almost like they're family now. Like,
I love that.
they get my vision. They know what I'm about. So when they send me songs, like Melanie will be like, I wrote this with you in mind. I'm like, oh, it's so, like, I don't know. Like, it makes the journey so much more fun. Like,
Totally.
It's less about, like, how many people listening. It's more like we're just friends and fam, like, making
Creating
cool stuff.
something great.
Exactly. Yeah. And also I want to give a shout out to my next song drop, which is Talk Talk, and I was really lucky to work with David Amber, who produced for Twice, which is like one of the biggest girl groups in Korea. They had #1 hit Yes or Yes, which he produced. So I'm like, I've just been very blessed, all thanks to Danny Lee, Asian Agent. I know you're standing behind the camera right there. Thanks for recording this, but yeah, he really brought the fam together. He's like the glue.
Do you think it's weird that you're kind of getting pulled in this K-pop world? Because you didn't come from it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so glad because I've been listening to K-pop for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I've been through K-pop first generation, second generation, third generation, and like I'm just very blessed to now be kind of in this world because I've been watching it for such a long time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you feel like with artists and labels, as coming from a content creator background, do you think you're kind of not taken seriously initially when it comes to music, or do you think you are, but you just have to work a little bit harder to let them know that, hey, you're putting out great music as well?
I think it's kind of funny because I meet lots of content creators that love music and want to get into music too, and they always come to me because like I'm kind of in the middle of the whirlwind
Right.
Of doing it. And yeah, it's true, like we don't get taken as seriously, and it's not just being a content creator. I think anyone that tries to switch industries or do something different, same thing, like
Totally.
it's just a very common thread. But what I kind of, my advice and how I want to see it is, look, maybe I get it. The first, few songs that are released, people are like, you're just a YouTuber releasing music, like I was expecting those comments. They came, like it wasn't a surprise to me. But my advice to other creators that wanted to do music, that honestly a lot of them haven't done any because they're scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not cool if you want to do it. Like as YouTubers, that's how we built our business. We did something we loved and people loved it.
Right.
And so it's like losing that is kind of going against who we are as creators. So I'm just like, look, the first few, songs you release, people will be like, you're a YouTuber releasing music. Why are you doing this? But if you're around 2 or 3 years later, still doing music,
Yeah.
like, what are they gonna say at that point? Like you've been around for so long, and so for me, it's more about like committing and sticking to the journey and just doing it because you love it. And if you're around, 10 years later still doing music, people can't doubt that you're doing music.
Yeah, you're doing something right.
Yeah, you're still around.
Before we wrap up, two things. First of all, have you met any of your musical inspirations yet?
Oh, so the other day I met Rosé, which, one of them, like, I feel like her voice is amazing, and
Yes.
I love the ballads she sings. I also was able to meet Sabrina Carpenter.
Wow.
She's so cute and such, she's just like ball of energy and happiness, which was really, really cool to meet her. I've been very blessed to be able to like meet these people in real life. Like standing in front of me, I was like freaking out. And also Marshmallow as well. I played Street Fighter with him, so that was really cool. And also like we did the Steve Aoki jump. So
Yeah.
I've been very blessed to meet a ton of people, chain smokers as well, and Zed. So all these people I've looked up to for a long time. I've listened to their music, like when they stand in front of me, I'm like, is this real life? I think I'm inspired constantly by everything in all styles.
Yeah.
I think we're at a time where I think fusion
Totally.
is kind of the thing. Like, how can you mix different styles together and create new things? So
Right.
I love everything that's happening where people are fusing things together. And my whole concept is fusing K-pop with American pop. So it's like, what's that East meets West version, which is really who I am because I'm Asian growing up in a Western country. I feel like that's really, really true to who I am.
Totally. Up to this point in your career, what would you say has been the moment that you are most proud of?
Ooh. You know what? To be real, I'm very, very hard on myself. So it's very, very hard for me to celebrate things that I've done. I remember when I hit the 10 million subscriber count, which is, you get a diamond button, and I remember that's something I never thought I did, and it's like the epitome of being a creator to get this diamond button, because they don't have any other button after the diamond button.
That
That's
is
like
the one.
Unless you're PewDiePie and you get this weird ruby trophy. But for me, when that came, I honestly just spent 10 minutes celebrating and then move on to the next.
Yeah.
So it's good you bring that up, because I know that's something I'm working on this year, to really do that personal growth and being grateful and being aware of everything that I've done. But for me, I think my most proud moment is when I was able to go on tour and perform my first song, Cake, in front of my fans. And it was a crazy experience to just see them sing it, to see them enjoy my music, because when you release something on the internet, on Spotify, you don't have that initial reaction of just looking them in the eye, seeing them sing it. And it was so loud on stage, I almost didn't realize, but my friends were in the crowd, they were like, they're all singing it really loudly and they all know the words. I'm like, oh, I think that's really why I do music, like just to be able to share that moment with other people and have them enjoy what I've created. So yeah, that was my most proud moment.
Hey, listen, you spend most of your time cooped up in your room or house doing the videos, so to get out there on stage and have that real interaction with fans, that must be awesome.
Yeah, it was. And there was one other moment I got to bring up, and I remember I literally cried. There was this girl that came to a meet and greet, and she was like tiny. She was 4 or 5. Her mom was like, oh, we drove 8 hours to see you. And I'm like, whoa. And then she didn't say a single word to me the whole meet and greet, because she was so shy. And I'm like, wow, you drove 8 hours to see me. And I wanted to spend a lot of time with her, because she made all that effort. And we were joking, and she was like, oh, she did your DIY shoes, from your video, and I just made an offhand joke like, it would be cool if you made me a pair, so I could see your skills and enjoy your piece of art. And then literally the next year I did a meet and greet in another city.
Oh.
They came and she gave me a pair of shoes she DIY'd, and this time was amazing because she was bigger, and I feel like, I'm like her second mom.
Did she talk to you a little bit that time?
She said maybe 3 words this time. So
next time it's going to be 6. We'll get to a full sentence eventually.
Yeah, I think next year we'll get to 10. We're going to get there, but I'm like, it was just such a crazy moment for someone, want to remember an offhand comment, bring it and see me. I was just crying. I wore it on stage that night as well. I was very proud.
I love it. Wengie, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you, getting to know you. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Oh, thank you. I'm almost tearing up. Maybe I shouldn't have told that story.
It was cute.